Welcome back.
Hey.
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 I don't know if I just muted or unmuted my microphone.
Oh, we'll find out in a
I can
minute.
hear you.
Good.
Nice.
The Queco escape at 20 minutes.
Yep.
That was
that,
wild.
man? What
That
was
was
that?
me screaming upstairs.
I think we were screaming for different reasons, Nick.
I was so excited by it.
You were going quicker. I was like, Lisa.
Yeah, it's. I was going for the underdog in that scenario. You were like, "How are you not killing him?"
You kicked him away.
I mean, he kicked him away. I think like that should be a kill.
Yeah.
Because he should have to riposte there and stand still, and Lisa should be able to E him, and then Misfortune should just auto-attack him twice and he should die.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he kicked him, then missed his Q rush.
Yep.
That was a bad thing.
My headset's like halfway off the set. I'm just walking around like, what do I even say at this stage? And then Jake's just like kind of like head in hands.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? So
That game was some real funny business.
There was a lot of funny business going on, but Avery take out the win.
Yep.
They're relatively happy.
Violet.
Yeah.
My man.
Violet.
Undefeated.
Absolutely. Ultraviolet undefeated.
Yeah. How did you find Violet in his first game?
So that's good. I was about to say, how did you find Violet? I was like, I did it. So, but how did I find him in first game? Yeah, really good. I mean, went up in laning phase, had a lot of attention, but they turned a 3v2 gank, which is always good. He would have been popping off after that. I think his synergy with Appy looked a lot better, actually, than Gunkrab and Appy's synergy, although I think Gunkrab individually has performed well at times. And then, obviously, like, good team fighting. Like, I think he died once that whole game.
Yeah,
You've got to be happy as a rookie.
Violet's one of those self-sufficient players. So I've watched a couple of his streams. He does it really well for himself. And I feel like he's able to, even without communication with Appy, it seems like he was making the correct decision. So I think that's actually just about the player of Violet.
There you go. Well, let's hope he sticks around. Something else I hope for is I hope you guys have your artistic skills on this weekend. Of course, we are running again the anime competition. Enter tonight, create an original artwork in an anime style. Submit it on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag OPL Anime for your chance to win a champion skin. The skins this week up for grabs: Heartseeker and Sweetheart skins. That is for Jinx and Yumi. And if you don't have the champ, then you also get the champ along with the skins. We'll pick 3 winners at the end of the broadcast tomorrow night, and those animes will be shown during the anime outro at the end of the broadcast.
And they're just the new skins. So you can probably get anything from the Heartseeker or Sweetheart range if you don't have it. So
Correct,
there's
Amundo.
definitely more skins on offer.
But why would you
They're
want
just the new
more?
cool
There's a
ones.
cute cat.
On a
Rogue
book.
would be happy.
What?
A cat on a book.
On a book.
Well, that's what Yumi is, isn't she? She's a cat on a book.
That's one of my 2 favorite things. I don't like cats. All right, it is time to move on to something that could be revealing for all of us. There's been a lot of celebration of love, but of course, love has its dark side, so it is time for the OPL's worst romantic encounters. So this, again, this is a fine line to walk, but I feel like we're all professionals here.
Thank goodness certain players aren't in the room anymore.
Stories about worst romantic encounter, bad date, funny things that have gone wrong in your love life. Who wants to start?
Not me.
I mean, I can kick it off with a gentle one, right?
Please.
So to describe to Twitch chat, though, I need to be very clear. I have 2 significant partners in my life.
Yeah.
I have Jenna, the mother of my son, who I've been with for 13 years, let's say that. And then I have Brent, who's my best friend, and I've known for like 24 years, and we're born like 6 days apart, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of my romantic encounters are going to be centered around Brent for this segment, not around Jenna. So Jenna took Jasper pissed off to Mauritius on Boxing Day last year, and I had worked like the entire year, so I needed a romantic date. So I said to Brent, I'm coming over to your house for New Year's. And he said, no worries, Danielle's going to be there, who's his partner. And I was like, that's fine, she can third wheel us. So Brent went out and bought a rack of ribs, checked out a local orange juice cellar where they have very good orange juice.
Good vintage.
Yeah, good
Cranberry
vintage
today.
orange juice. It's all about the oranges they have there. And then we had some movies to watch. And so I rock up at his house and he puts the ribs on and he says they're going to be ready in 3 hours. So let's go to the orange juice cellar. And we walk down the street with me, him, and Danielle, and then the orange juice cellar's closed.
Oh no.
And then we walk back to the house, and it's only been half an hour because the orange juice cellar was closed, and the ribs are on fire. Like, literal fire.
God. Oh no.
And then there was no orange juice at his house, and you can't have a New Year's without orange juice.
It's true.
Yeah, that's important.
And so we had no food, no orange juice. And the three of us at like 9 p.m. are just sitting on the couch watching our favorite movie, which is American Pie, with his girlfriend.
So
I would say that is like the most awkward date night I've ever personally had.
That is pretty pathetic.
It was pretty bad.
I like his name as well. Is a name that you can really spit out in anger when he does
Brent.
something wrong.
Absolutely.
Skimmy.
Yeah, so my one's actually from, I think, my second year of high school. It's pretty embarrassing. So this is like the first girl I asked out on a date.
Yep.
And I had this massive crush on her. We had the same classes together, and like I drummed up the courage one day after class finished and said, hey, like, do you want to go see a movie sometime? And she was like, oh yeah, like I'm really, really keen. So I'm like, fantastic. But as I asked her, when you're so insecure and so shy, you're like, hey, do you want to grab a movie with some friends? Do you know what I mean? Like I kind of spit that out at the end.
Yep.
Because there's like that brief hesitation where you're like, you didn't get a response, and you're like, oh, I've made a terrible decision, right? So I asked her, oh, come with some friends, and she's like, oh yeah, sounds good. So we're texting, and then on the day, I was like, so are all your friends coming? She's like, no, I just want to see you. And I said, shit, because I've invited all my friends. So I'm like telling all my mates, I'm like, hey, you can't come, like it's not happening, please don't come, this is gonna be super awkward. One of my friends, bless his soul, love him to bits, he was like, well, I'm already coming, like, I've already got tickets, it's all sorted, whatever. And I was like, whatever, man, like, let's just do it. So we get to this mall, and
You brought a wingman to your first date with your high school crush.
so I get to the mall, and I'm just walking around, as you go grab lollies and stuff because you don't buy it from the cinema because it's too expensive. So walking around, I'm just like chatting away for like a straight hour, right? Just like flirting. He's just walking behind me like a bodyguard, basically, kind of like, what am I doing here? We sit in the movie. I'm sitting like as if it would be here. He's sitting just behind me, so I'm like too scared to even like touch her hand or like arm around because I'm like, he's probably going to be watching me. Like, who knows?
He's got
what
his phone
doing.
out.
He's probably recording. Like, look.
He live tweeted your whole
Look at
day
this
off his
idiot.
private, 100%.
So it's a super awkward. There's just no chemistry, flirting, anything happening. It's just kind of like, this movie's great, huh? Like just one word
Don't
answers.
talk during the movie.
Don't talk to anyone.
We get out of the cinema. I'm like, oh, that was a lot of fun. Like, trying to put a positive spin on it, right? Oh, that was a lot of fun. She's like, yeah, I'll see you at school. I'm like, yeah, I will too. And then I spent the next 2 years crying about it.
Yeah, that is very bad.
Yeah, that was
bad.
a big mistake. It was a learning lesson. It matured me up pretty quickly, but it let me realize that you've got to be pretty strong when you make a decision and just tell your boys, sit this one out, mate.
Well, it's not to sit this one out. Don't invite the boys in the first place.
I was too shy.
So I was thinking about this because you've been asking questions with everyone today on the interviews, like best date situations. Is there like a definitive worst? Because I actually think movies is well up on that list.
Like a worst
Like
date
a
scenario.
really bad place to take someone on a date.
I think movies are a good. So my story has to do with a movie, but movies are good if you're not quite sure how you feel about the person. I mean, particularly when you're younger, because it's like there's no social pressure of like having to maintain a conversation. You can kind of like feel out the scenario.
Yeah.
So I was super socially awkward when I was a kid.
You didn't need to end the last bit.
Yeah, totally. And then I invited this girl to like a dance that we had at school. I was 14, and she came along. And then afterwards, we were like, should we like start going out? And she was like, yes. And I was like, yeah. And then for like 4 weeks, I just ghosted her. Because I didn't know how to like go. I don't necessarily want to go out. I'm too shy to have this kind of interaction. So I was like, I just won't talk to her. Finally, she gets a hold of me because she calls the house. My mum picks up, and my mum knows what's going on. And she's like, I'm like, I'm not here. And she goes, I'll put him on right now. And holds out the phone. And so then she goes, look, how about we go to the movies? And Harry Potter is playing, no, she wanted to go, she wanted to go to something else. Anyway, I was like, no, I don't want to go. And then hang up the phone, and then again, the boys call, and at one point they're like, hey, Harry Potter's playing, do you want to come down to the movies? I'm like, oh, well, she just invited me. She probably won't go, it'll be fine.
Oh, no.
I go down, because I looked like Daniel Radcliffe when I was growing up, and I was a
Once
massive
again,
dork.
didn't need it. And
when I grew up, I dressed up like Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
So I go to the movies, because I was a massive Harry Potter nerd. Go to the movies, I'm hanging out with my friends, who are all dressed up as well. All of us were lame. And then at one point, making a joke or something, I yell Expelliarmus and turn around and point my wand, and she's standing at the end of my wand. And she just has a look on her face where she is so, like, it's a mixture of total anger, of what I'd done. And 14-year-olds can get very angry.
Oh, yeah.
Also, total relief that she didn't end up with me because I'm just some dork dressed as Harry Potter, like yelling a spell in the middle of a public area. So that was pretty... that was pretty terrible. It was also, though, the time in my life where I realized you should not lie to people anymore. Like, you should just tell people how you feel. Don't try to hurt people. You're a bad man. You're a terrible wizard, Harry. So there you go. Pretty bad.
I like that.
Pretty
Very
bad.
good comedic timing on the wand, though.
Yeah,
Like that. You couldn't have.
You couldn't write that,
Yeah.
which is why ultimately, while at the time I was horrified, right now I'm happy that I can now just tell this story. Really hope she's not watching the show. It's time to move on now to game number 4 for the evening. It is Direwolves versus Chiefs. They're back, the Direwolves. It's Chiefs' first appearance for the evening. Let's talk through the Direwolves lineup. Jake, if you can summon any respect to work with me again.
Is there any changes? It's going to be Chippy as Nero. It's going to be Shock Vital, and Cupcake is going to be playing Big Andy.
The Invisible Man.
The
Bard Man.
I'm sure we'll talk to him again in a couple of minutes. Cupcake, he's won, 2 titles with this team? And he was with the Chiefs last year.
Yep.
Helped mentor up young Ayla, and is now yawning on our stage trying to catch some flies.
New tats on the forearm as well.
I was going to say, that seems like new ink.
It is.
Good on you, mate.
Hasn't he had it for like a year?
Oh, I mean, he played one game on stage.
Yeah.
I think it's been recently updated again, though.
Oh,
Like,
cool.
it's-
I was tweeting today I want a new tattoo. We should do segment
tattoos.
ideas.
Wait, does everyone here have a tattoo? Because I don't.
Yeah.
I've always been like, maybe I should. I don't know.
Group tattoo.
Oh, we're not the ones to
We
ask
each
if
get
you
a
should or
quarter.
not.
So then when
No,
we
but
put
you
our
know-
hands together,
Oh,
there's some sort of like
100%
power.
do that. I've talked about doing the Triforce of Power, like with
Yep.
different people and
Get the
stuff. as well.
koala.
Yeah. Koala?
Yeah,
Yeah, I do. I said when we make it out of group stages of a major international event, I will get my Raise Your
We
Koala.
made it to Worlds.
The OPL teams are the people letting you down, man. I don't know what
That's
to
true.
tell you about. What I was going to say is maybe Twitch chat can suggest some tattoo ideas for me.
Please suggest some tattoo
And
ideas
some artists,
for
because
us.
I don't
Yeah.
know, like I have one artist that I like, and then I don't have anyone else.
We'll find out. I mean, I do want to get a tattoo with you guys. It can be tattoo. I nearly got a bomber's tattoo last split.
You need to
It's
get
a
a
good thing
Raise
that
Your
I didn't.
Koalas as well. Do you know about the Raise Your Koalas?
Of course I know about the Raise Your Koalas, but I would
But
get
do
a
you know
koala.
all the casters have them?
Do they?
So Frostgreen has one, Fish has one. Do you have yours?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, we should totally do that.
Yeah.
And then we should get a little drop your briefs for the Chiefs. Speaking of Chiefs, they are the team that the Direwolves are going up against. Let's take a look at that lineup, Rusty.
Dead in the top lane, Croc in the jungle, Claire mid, Katsuri and Korea CK is your bottom lane with Coach Seal, a very funny man on social media after one of their first victories here in the OPL. And the Chiefs are on an absolute tear.
Yeah, I mean, tweeting before a game,
I like that.
great. Tweeting after a game, Rusty, questionable behaviour. It's a that I do really like Seal. He also is the Korean translator on the team. That's why it really helps to have Croc in there with Seal. And so far, he's one of these new coaches that I was talking about the other day. I think he's done a bang-up job with this lineup. They're looking good.
They are looking good indeed. All right, it's time to get into the final professional game for the day before we head into the very unprofessional MPL. We'll be back with Game 4, Direwolves versus Chiefs, right after this.
It's the final game of the day. It is OPL Week 3, and it is game number 4. The second game for the Direwolves. The final game. And the first game here for the Chiefs.
Yeah,
4-0.
Direwolves would be able to start to really make an impact on the OPL if they could pick up this win, Skimmy.
Yep.
Because they would then move to 4-2, and Chiefs would be 4-1. And that would be a big statement, I think, for the Direwolves. At the same time, after seeing how they struggled to close out the game against Avant, I think it's going to be a hard game. I think Cupcake really needs to shake up how this team was playing. I think Kai has said in the past that it's really great to have Cupcake there because it's like having a coach that he can insert into the team and be like, hey, I want us to execute this specific game plan. So Cupcake, go make it happen. And because he has the insight of being a coach, he can then go onto Summoner's Rift and help like shot call that situation, whilst being still an incredibly good mechanical player. When Cupcake retired, he was the best support in the OPL with Destiny, like no questions asked. Definitely the 2 best up there. At the moment, however, the Chiefs' aggression seems to be stumping a lot of teams. I know it certainly threw some teams through the works last week. And that's going to be Aphelios locked in. Ash was hovered briefly. Misfortune now getting the hover as well. Ash has been played by one player in particular. He's my favorite AD carry in the entirety of the world. Mystic, obviously over in the LCK, was formerly of WE. He's an insane Ash player. Croc is an insane Olaf player.
They're an insane roster, point blank, the Chiefs. It's neck and neck really between them and Legacy as to who is sort of like the standout player in every single role.
And see, the thing is, I think that when you look at the Chiefs lineup, they don't have the standout players. But when you look at how they're playing,
yes,
they're playing standout League of Legends, right? Whereas I look at Legacy and I think, wow, this team has so much more firepower.
Yep.
I think that Raze is like really, like, he's a class above Katsuri in my opinion. I think when you have a look at the mid lane, Eminez should have Claire covered as well. Topoon, in my opinion, is better than Thean. Croc and Babip, you know, I think at the moment Croc is probably in better form. Korea CK versus Isles, they're both rookies. You know, we probably haven't seen enough. But that's 3-1, right, of players that we have seen. But it's the teamwork and the pace at which this Chiefs lineup plays the game that is really stumping everyone. So I think this is a case of, like, the Chiefs individual players, to me, no longer matter. It's like the team is better than the sum of its parts. They're like playing a coordinated, cohesive game plan, and they are able to get themselves advantages throughout the draft and, you know, have really great games. Now, in saying that, they're being counterpicked in a couple of lanes right now. They've got themselves... Oh, and I don't like the Ryze pickup because I think actually Syndra can beat Ryze here. And Olaf into Lee Sin. Lee Sin should win that. So I think that this is a game where the Chiefs right now don't necessarily have the draft that I'm liking. However, Thean has played majors in the past, so potentially can take it into the top lane. See how that goes.
So the first time we've seen Claire play Ryze this split, he's actually played a different champion every single game, the only player on his team to play a different champion every single game, so definitely quite comfortable to flex and sort of take that captaincy role, if you will. And yeah, you highlight the Bard ban, definitely targeted towards Cupcake, who played it that one time. He got to show us some love.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think Claire is like one of the best risers on the server. So like, I will say, and I've always said this about Claire, because he's been around the scene for ages. On his specific champions, he is insane. Like, he is just mechanically so brilliant as a player. It really is decision-making cruxes that I felt like have held him back. And on specific champions, mainly Victor, Ryze, and Cassiopeia, in my opinion, he has shown like tremendous teamfight ability. And I would be really excited to see him take a skill matchup here against Shock, because once again, this is a lane matchup that I feel like should be Shock favored. I think that Miro and Shock in the 2v2 are just outright stronger than an Olaf Ryze combo. But in saying that, if anyone can turn it, if anyone can get to the side lane portion of the game where Ryze is going to take over, it would be Claire. And then just the collapse into team fights is really how, like, the closing of the wings, right? So, like, you've got your 3 people in the mid lane, Thean and Claire collapsing from the side lanes. I mean, you saw his Lissandra play against Order, right? It was beautiful to watch. So this is certainly, like, I just want to keep harping on about it because I feel like this is something that people are sleeping on. They're saying the individual players of the Chiefs are insane. Yeah. Like, yes, they're playing insane League of Legends, but I really do want to credit Seal with how well this team has come together as 5 people around one game plan.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming together and boosting their stats to showcase a story that, I suppose, when you deep dive into it, has a little bit more substance to work with. But if we look at these bans coming into this, 4 support bans, you're obviously limiting that pool. Nautilus is available. Now you're going to be talking about the likes of Leonas, you're talking about the likes of Time Kenches before we start dabbling into Enchantress, you know, like supports. You're talking Nami, Soraka's, Yumi's, the rest of it. It's going to be a Time Kench, a very safe lane for the Aphelios to operate within.
And I'm really surprised that Direwolves banned 2 supports. And the reason I'm surprised about that is because I think if they ban Nautilus here and they leave Braum and Thresh up, they're happy to take that trade because they technically have the stronger late game AD carry, right? Aphelios kind of unrivaled, that's why they first picked him. So when I have a look at this ban phase, they must have really wanted Nord into Time Kench as their matchup. Because otherwise there's just no reason to ban like this. Then you have a look at what has been picked up here in the Aatrox. And I'm not going to lie, the draft is starting to look a little bit wonky here for the Direwolves. No form of hard engage. outside of Lee Sin Kick, right? I think they have losing 1-3-1, and they're the team with Tom Kench, which really sucks. When you play Tom Kench, you want to have winning 1-3-1. You have to get him to level 11 when he can impact the side lanes. On the side of the Chiefs lineup, I think they've been counterpicked in jungle, but I like their bottom lane. Nautilus is just such a power pick for me within the OPL. I think Camille should beat Aatrox, and I think in the side lane, Rai should be able to beat Syndra if it gets to that point. Now, obviously, if Shock has a really blinding laning phase, we can change our assumption on that. But right now, the wings look like they can close by the Chiefs, and every time they get this kind of composition, I start fearing for another 22-minute victory.
The Chiefs have definitely showcased that they can do that if given half the chance. They've been incredibly dominant in their performances, definitely able to close out matches and not let them expire, if you will, when they've acquired such a massive lead. So it's really going to be up to the Direwolves to sort of reset from what happened earlier on. A very strong early to mid-game performance with a little bit of a delay going into that final stage to close things out. But how do they approach it when they go up against the Chiefs? A team that have just shown no real major signs of weaknesses so far and sort of blown people's expectations away.
Well, the game plan for the Direwolves when they get in these tricky situations does seem to be give Mirror a counter pick, hope he can run over Summoner's Rift, right?
Right.
And I think that that's what they've done this game. They've given him counter pick, they've given him like strong top lane, strong mid lane, even though they have kind of been counter picked to a certain degree. And it's like, okay, off Aatrox CC, off Syndra CC, just make something happen top side of the map. Vital, we're just going to scale. You've got Tahm Kench, you've got so much safety down there in the bottom lane.
Yep.
Just perfect CS, play perfect weak side, back off your turret if you're ever going to be drove by Croc, by Korea CK. And like, we're just going to play to crush top lane, then we should have stronger side lanes. Problem is, if you ever get counter game by an Olaf, if Olaf is ever second man into a game, he just cleans up. He does so much damage.
Of course.
So that's the real fear right now for this Direwolves lineup, is I feel like they have to win lanes on the top side of the map, and I don't know whether I've seen enough out of them in the recent weeks to say, you know what, they're going to run over the top of Thien and Claire, because that is such a hard point to sell.
It is indeed. As we get ourselves ready for this one, Direwolves taking on the Chiefs. Will the plan be able to execute? Will they be able to achieve what they're looking to get done on the day? And we will get ourselves ready. We've actually got Seal on standby, the Chiefs coach. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Well, first of all, obviously you come into this one 4-0. Legacy have been the ones to beat so far, and we're going to have that massive matchup coming in next week. But you look at this one here, you see obviously a second game for Direwolves on the day.
Mm-hmm.
What are your expectations about how that's going to impact them for you guys coming into it fresh?
Well, there's no expectations that we have in terms of specific teams. We just respect everybody. We think that anyone can upset us, so we always go into the games with a humble mindset. We just prepared for a lot of the flexible drafts that Kai prepared, obviously another coach that we respect, and we were expecting some kind of cheese pick or some sort of nocturne mid, like things that we don't expect to happen, like cheese comps, but they came at us very standard, and we're very happy with our draft overall.
And, you know, talk to me about that draft a little bit more. We talk about the Rise in particular, the first time we've seen it in this split. I mean, Claire's been very happy just to flex and play something different every single game. Is that been something that he's volunteered himself towards and say, look, I'll do it for the greater good of the team? Or is that just, hey, this is what we are after?
Well, we think that Rise can go both top and mid, and we're happy with the mid matchup as well, although Syndra does get priority early. In general, we get the third and fifth pick counter pick, so we're just happy to flex the Rise and get a good matchup for top lane, because they do tend to hover toward the bottom side of the map on blue side a lot more than the top side compared to red side. So we're just making sure that we don't make any mistakes early, and hopefully it works out.
And now, you mentioned that you were expecting something cheeky coming out in the draft. Obviously, that didn't happen, but maybe something cheeky on who's playing the game. Did you guys expect to play against Cupcake today? And did that change kind of the approach in the draft at all?
I mean, it's something that we definitely expected, and we had contingency plans for all of Cupcake's pool as well. So it's definitely not something that, you know, we were surprised by. But yeah, I think we really respect both Cupcake and Decoy, so we're just going into this with a focused mindset and with a clear plan. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah, and one player that I have really no insight into is Croc, because he comes over from the LGL, right? And he's played a couple of splits over there, and he seems to be on a little bit of a tear domestically. Like, tell me about Croc. What do you see in him, and are you happy with how his jungling season has started off so far?
I think everyone on my team, not just Croc, has world-class potential. Croc is a very mechanical player that does tend to have his emotional imbalances when it comes to both being a teammate and in-game decision making. So it's really important that we accommodate from there. But I do believe everyone in our team has that world-class potential, not just Croc. So while Croc's been getting a lot of attention, I think everyone in our team should be getting their due credit.
Beautiful. Well, all the best as always there, Seal. We look forward to seeing how this game takes place. And we'll catch up with you afterwards.
Yes, thank you.
Well, there you hear it. Croc is the one to watch out for. Definitely showcased that he's not really had the biggest adjustment period. He's just jumped in and slammed some nerds.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the insight that I was expecting from Seal. My interactions with him have been like nothing but really pleasant so far. And he's certainly one of those new coaches that I was speaking about that has come in and is taking it really, really seriously. And the Chiefs, I mean, they're getting huge benefits from it so far, in my opinion. Once again, he says all of these players have world-class potential, but we've seen all of these guys in the OPL before, apart from Croc and Korea CK. And whilst they have been on like good teams, you know, yet to win titles, and I think that he is bringing out like nearly a championship mentality in them. So I'm really impressed so far, and I think that he's done a terrific job.
It's interesting that we you know, carry on that trend about talking about this jungle matchup. In terms of their KD, Mir is behind Croc's KD by about 3 times, so he's 1.8 versus Croc's 6.2. But
yeah, as I said, Croc so far in the jungle position has just been insane.
The damage is the biggest one for me, personally, Spawn. I mean, Croc's able to do double the damage for not many more resources, so the guy's an absolute monster, and I'm looking forward to seeing if he can really sort of tear it down with, as you say, what Olaf can do in that cleanup.
Well, just look at his mindset, right? Miru goes back, very standard, shot, has himself the jungle item. You have a look at Croc, he goes back, gets himself double alongside, certainly ready to fight on Summoner's Rift. So I think like that just shows that Croc's mindset in the game is very, very different to a lot of the junglers in the OPL. And I kind of, when I first saw him, I was like, this is an LPL style jungler. This is an SOFM, or, you know, this is maybe a Levi-S kind of jungle, VCS, LPL jungle. Whereas I look at a lot of the OPL junglers and I think, you know what, these guys aspire to be like more Korean style junglers. So he's certainly a player that I think has thrown a big spanner into the works. And you can see that he's got his whole jungle on farm. Like, he's level 5, equal with solo laners pretty much. His second round of camps is coming up and available on this next deep play out of base. And I mean, he's going to be probably 16-ish CS. 16 to 20 CS up over Miro at this stage of the game, which is just bonkers. Like, I mean, Olaf is technically countered by Lee Sin if Lee Sin can ever find him, and he's just done such a good job of being able to negate that, and he's picked himself up an early dragon as well.
Yeah, he's power farming through, and it'll be interesting to see how he can then translate that pressure into those lanes to get these boys online. Tien is definitely the one to keep an eye on for me. He's definitely shown that regardless of being an understudy from Big Swips, he's his own man now. He's not afraid to showcase some flair.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I mean, I obviously have like much more insight to the Tien and Swoop's relationship. Swiper really respects Tien. He always said that like coming into the split, he's going to be one of his biggest challenges along with Topu. And I think that Tien is one of those players that all he lacks is the experience. As far as mechanics and things go, he's got the champion pool, he's got the mechanical ability. The only thing he hasn't done is, you know, be there in the big moments. He had one game in the OPL final last year. Unfortunately, it was a loss against Namek. But this is another one of those players that, I mean, with time, with experience, he's going to be an absolute powerhouse. And once again, O's has been staffed with good top laners. So I hope Tien has so many fans out there, because he is one of those new kids that has come in. I mean, he held rank 1 for so much of last year. I think he was like up there for like 7 months nearly. So to be given an opportunity on a storied orgs like the Chiefs to play behind someone like Swiper, and then to make the most of it, now be their starting top laner, I mean, nothing but respect and admiration for the kid. He's done such a good job.
Yeah, and he's obviously going to be up and up against another Hall of Fame top laner in Chippies. So it's going to be another good matchup to watch, as Chippies has taken a lead so far, but going on the back as that wave is going to come into the tower and going to even things out once more. Blue buff now on clear. Should give him some fairly good pushing power, get those stacks on up for the tier.
Yeah, and this is a really interesting move from Chippies, because he actually allowed that lane to be frozen by at the end, because he just wanted the tempo reset and getting back towards bottom side of Summoner's Rift. So they really want to be able to trade for this Herald. They know that they need to generate a fight. Meru's level 6. This is the stage of the game. On Warrior, he can pretty much one-hit the Olaf. So he's just going to start that one up. And he's counting on the fact that the Chiefs will be late to this play, which they are, because Tien has frozen the wave. And I wonder if that was actually a deliberate call. You know, let Tien freeze the wave. He's going to get really greedy and stick around for it. Now we'll have numbers topside. We'll also have teleport advantage, and we might be able to create a mismatched numbers team fight.
They're going to start. The Direwolves bottom lane going to rotate on through now. We've got a 3v3 situation.
Claire's
Soon to
also
break out a
jumped.
little bit more. Yeah, as you say, Claire down to about a third of his health, so dangerously low. He's popping that refillable potion. The hook goes out. Not going to connect onto Shock because the flash has to be burnt. But it's enough to prevent a kill in exchange for the Rift Herald as bot lane pushes.
And they've zoned him away from top lane turret. Only 2 creeps available in the mid lane. However, Miru's not gone up there. I think that's a missed trick. They would have been able to get so much done on top lane if Miru just dropped a Rift Herald right now. You can see that they're pushing bottom lane. There was no threat on a collapse coming through because otherwise they would have just lost complete control of bottom side of Summoner's Rift. They're not even going to stick around for this. I wonder if the swap back is going to come out and they're going to try and continue to mismatch lanes right now. Whether they maybe even throw Cupcake into the mid lane and try and support the Syndra. So many options available for the Direwolves. That was a really clean macro play there. And I think Chiefs now playing a little bit on the back foot, Skimmy.
Feels like a little bit of a missed opportunity, though, when the pressure was there for them to get double value from bottom and top and really sort of open up those side lanes as it's known.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like that's certainly like the perfect play, right? But when you're, just coming together, obviously they haven't played much with Cupcake on stage. Sometimes you just got to take the good play. And that was a really good play. They got a free objective. They did have to burn their mid laner splash. Like that was the only downside to the play. They didn't have to use their teleports or anything of the kind. Now, Chippies definitely needs a hover. And it looks like now they're going for a split play. A little bit confusing. They don't have eyes on Croc. So you see how much Chippies has to respect here.
Bottom lane is going to be the priority right now. So they're going to look to try and funnel all that gold into Vital. That's the Rift Herald that's going to get dropped on out. That's going to take those 2 turrets. The 2 plates that remain down.
So this was a really good use of Herald. So what I want to talk about is the fact that Herald doesn't get the increase, ignores the increased bonuses of the armor,
damage.
right? He does true damage to the turrets. Well said. And I've played League of Legends for 10 more years.
I knew what you were trying to say.
Anyway, so what they did is they took the first 2 plates without dropping Herald, and then they dropped Herald for the last 2 plates. It's the quickest way to take the turret. If you drop Herald for first 2 plates there, you definitely do not get turret. So really well played from Miru. So many teams stuffed that one up.
I saw that from that
LEC,
LEC play, which is quite handy, about how much armor it gets when there's multiple members around.
So that was really, really well done from the Direwolves, and I wonder who caught it. And you can see right now, potentially looking for a team fight. However, Chippy's still topside.
Does have teleport available as the Chiefs posture now for a 5-man collapse towards the Drake.
I want them to give this one away. Honestly, if the Direwolves give this away, they're going to get a plate mid lane. They're probably going to get 2 plates top, and they're also going to burn a teleport. Force them away, make them go the long way. They're losing out farm on the other side of the map as well. I think this is, like, so far, the most controlled game of macro we have probably seen in the OPL.
Yeah.
Direwolves have generated them, what, like 1,500 gold lead? And they've burnt 2 teleports in the plays that we've seen so far. Through nothing else apart from running the Chiefs side to side on Summoner's Rift.
Be interesting to see actually how the bot lane's looking as we actually see an engagement now take top. Claire forced to burn the flash out so he's not locked in place.
That's cheeky.
That is very cheeky. Not going to see any Gangplank shenanigans that time. Or sorry, Zoe shenanigans where you get revealed in the brush. The point I wanted to highlight though there, Spawn, is the fact that Vital is for the most part the single most carry on Direwolves. Like I said in a previous game, he does 35% of the damage. Compared it to Katsuri, known for only say 23%. So vital, excuse the pun, that he gets online, that he can put out some pressure on a champion like Aphelios. Going to be so, easy, I suppose is the best way to put it out, given his kit just allows him to be so useful in so many stages of that game. So, yeah, pumping all these tower plates into him, making sure that he does have the resources available, it's going to be a crucial moment for them.
And the idea behind it, Skimmy, is the way you should think about it is if you give up first 2 dragons, you have an opportunity to collect the next 3, which are going to be the soul dragons, so the ones that you can stack on top of each other, so you get better bonuses. So that's the first point.
Yeah.
Second point is you're generally trading them for gold objectives. And what that means is you should be healthy enough to therefore fight Dragon 3, 4, and 5 from a gold lead. So this is where they need to stop seeding the bottom side of the map. They're obviously going to go for top lane turret right now, and they're going to try and get another plate or 2 up here. But then I expect them to really challenge for bottom side in the next 3 minutes and grab Dragon 3 for themselves. This only becomes a losing play if they lose that dragon fight, and then all of a sudden Chiefs, even gold, have 3 dragons. Yeah. They're on soul point. Game's a bit of a disaster. Mid lane.
Mid lane is where the action's at right now as Katsuri takes the brunt of a shock engagement. But he manages to survive thanks to some lifesteal to Doran's Blade. As I'm sure he's got the runes to come in clutch. And the minions deny any 1-for-1 trade.
And that's the wings collapsing again. We mentioned it already, but Katsuri just able to come in from the side.
Oh, that's a very cheeky engagement. Tom Kench rocks up and says, "This is how you rise ult." As Claire tries to do the same, but he gets clapped.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is that was actually Thien collapsing from the side lane, going mid, using the Camille ultimate very successfully. But Tom Kench can do the exact same thing. Very good tempo cheat champion, uses that global ultimate to get into the top lane. They trade 1-for-1 on kills, and once again, they're still the one pressuring turrets here.
They really are, because the turret plating will fall on down in a rough, well, 10 seconds to be quite precise, actually. They want to get as much as they can out of this one.
Okay, not much happening there. Thought Thien was looking for an all-in. He's going towards Trinity Force as his first item, so he's certainly like the fight-heavy build as opposed to maybe something like a Tiamat farm-it-up style. Also, the fact that he hasn't gone Grievous Wounds, I like, because he might be matched into something like a Syndra or the bottom lane, and he needs to have that one-shot potential. Korea CK, looking for a cheeky flank here. I like the respect shown from Vital.
He is. He's well, he's aware, right, of that win condition, that he needs to be online. He can't afford to die. He needs to be CSing as much as he can.
Well, he just also knows that Dragonfight, the next Dragonfight coming up, you know, in that minute and a half, that's going to be the most important fight of the game. If they win that, Direwolves are in the driver's seat to be able to win this game versus the Chiefs, hand themselves their first defeat. However, if Korea CK just uses like ultimate or flash there and gets a cheeky flash out of Vital, that team fight's nearly impossible. Thien at level 11 with Trinity Force complete, just going to fly into the backside of the fight and nearly one-hit him.
But this is why I'm scared, right? Because I think Cupcake's going to have his work so cut out for him with the amount of threat that Chief has to try and dive in Vital's face and say, you are going to be deleted, you've got no mobility, you're having to fully rely on that Devour to save your life. Going to be some scary situations. So positioning is going to be imperative. Summoner usage when those are up. Talking about flashes primarily.
Ooh, and now this is a really tough decision for Direwolves. So what they did is they once again used Shocked Ultimate onto Croc to secure themselves another Rift Herald. Now the question is, do they flip really, really quickly in the next 40 seconds to try and get control of bottom side of the map? Or do they just say, you know what, to hell with it. Give them the third one, put them on Soul Point, and we're going to go as hard as we can top lane with our new Herald. I think that's probably the wrong play. It's a very high-risk play. You get two turrets there. Maybe it's worthwhile, but it gives the Chiefs a genuine win condition.
Yeah.
However, danger is that the Chiefs have done a really good job of farming in the last couple of minutes, and gold is dead even for this Dragon fight. I said that Direwolves should be 1,500 gold up because of the additional plates and turrets that they took down. Well, that's not the case at all, Skimmy. They've just done a way better job of being able to keep up in CS, and you can see a lot of that is in the jungle position as well.
Yeah, Direwolves definitely be in the driving seat, trying to force this pressure, force those rotates, and get that map pressure with the structures falling on down. But that has hindered their ability to collect the gold and really start things off with. But hold the phone. They will start this. That is falling down rapidly. Camille is in no position to contest. This is going to fall on down. The smite comes, and the smite delivers. Now a Rift Herald in possession. Where are they looking to try and place this one down? Are we looking just a jailbreak through mid?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a really good tempo check because you need to be able to get shot back onto the wave. You can see Direwolves look really, really comfortable right now with Cupcake in the lineup. I wonder how much they've actually been scrimming with him. I would assume he was fulfilling more of a coaching role. But with how well the team is playing around the Tom Ken, you feel like it has to have been at least a well-thought-out plan coming across from Kai. Check Twitter, see what he says. Chiefs going to regain control of the gold in this game.
No, that's their very first tower as Tien takes it in the top lane. So now they're on the board breaking down the structures. As you say, dead even, only 300 gold separating this team. My eyes firmly fixated on these AD carries, how much of an influence they can impact, how close to the CS, how much damage can they do to try and turn the tides of these fights as the side laners are still duking it out. And Chippy's he's doing what he does in the bot lane, translating what Tien was doing in the top.
And I really like this warding that's coming out of Vital and Cupcake. You can see that they're saying, okay, we're going to help out top side of Summoner's Rift. They have two control wards right there to be able to just make the quick rotate with Tom Kench ult up top lane. However, now using the Herald on mid lane turret.
Capitalizing on the fact that Claire had gone back for a recall. The all-in onto Croc, but he gets that stopwatch, the bullet time, and that's the Devour. We're talking about important and imperative that Vital is surviving here. He gets the disengage as Tien rocks on up to the fight. He says, that's my target, and I'm going to isolate him. They want Vital. They'll get Vital, and Tien will fall for his crimes. He has been punished. The sins, the damage, as Claire comes in and just destroys, getting the resets with the QWE. We're talking about rotations. We're talking about cooldowns. We're talking about Claire and the Chiefs acing.
And that is what I was talking about. It's just the all-out aggression of the Chiefs that teams cannot deal with. It looked like the end had gone way too deep there. I saw no stopwatch. I thought he was just going to get blown up and killed. However, the rest of the Chiefs members willing to burn everything. Flash from Claire to get into their face and just pump out so much damage. Teleport now coming across. Is that just Vital by himself?
Vital, what are you doing? You were the chosen one. I've hyped Chop as this member that can do so much, but you're trying to 1v4. This isn't solo queue. And I don't think there's anything more to be said about that one, this Spawn.
Yeah, that was a real dodgy play coming out of Vital. He uses his flash, he uses his teleport. I've already talked about how important both of those are. And as you see, he gets kicked right out of the back end of this play. But this is the impressive bit. The fact that Claire is willing to play so far forward, and just the amount of damage at this stage of the game that is coming out of the Rise is disgusting. Katsuri completely untouched in the team fight, Skimmy. And then Claire just knowing the limits of the champion, willing to turret dive, willing to tank up the turrets, gets his second phase rush cross, and just gets the heck out of dodge. Now the Chiefs are up 3,000 gold. And it's starting to look like just the same old story every single game.
It is indeed. And I don't really actually mind that play there from Tien, the fact that he can just build full damage, jump into the backline, use the ultimate to isolate out a member and say, we will kill this target, then my job is done. Because the other 4 members, they have enough pressure on their own to definitely emit some pressure of this magnitude. As we talk about the situation now in the top lane, there is no chance for him to chill on out because Claire has no chill. He just has damage and he will take out members left, right and center. No jungler. Now they're looking for his second kills. The ultimate, the isolation, the collapse. 2 members gone. We're talking double kills. Are we going to get back-to-back aces right now as Cupcake is going to be the next one to fall? And it's Vital and a Dream. Ace.
And this is what I'm talking about. The Chiefs are just on another level as far as coordination goes.
Yeah.
They read the play. They had Croc up there early. They thought, Direwolves thought it was a 2v1 play. 2v2, Teleport came out from the end first. Chippies arrives late. And then, sure, they have the mechanical ability. You saw the dodge outs on the stuns there. It will be a Baron on Spawn. And in back-to-back teamfights, back-to-back aces, the Chiefs has completely taken over this game.
Superstar solo laners putting in a superstar performance as they come together as a 5-man squad that just, I don't know, they pull a plug and say, now we play.
Yeah.
Now we just dominate, you know? It was chill. 15 minutes has passed. You've had your fun. You've taken some structures. You've had your gold lead. But now it was our time to show what we can do when 5 boys come together and press the buttons. And, well, they're very good at that.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
are very good indeed.
And, I mean, we keep talking about it. Like, the macro game from Direwolves up until that point was
fantastic.
looking very, very good. However, what you kind of don't account for is just, 2 levels lead on Croc. So in any outright engage, he's going to be way more effective. You have a look at Claire. He's got a 2 levels lead.
Yep.
Thien has a 2-level lead now as well. So in just any straight up engage, I don't see a way that Direwolves win this now. I think fighting for this dragon is like insanity.
These matchups are undesirable as you highlight, but there's a flank that could potentially take place there as Chippies has gone unnoticed. And that bottom side going to not get face checked. Does have the control ward in there. Oh, I do believe they caught a glimpse of him as he does disengage out. Direwolf's going to sacrifice. There's too much pressure in too many lanes.
Oh, I mean, you can just see Claire wants it so bad.
He's being cheeky.
He's already got himself the Morellonomicon, so in just a straight-up 1v1, he's going to smash him. They've also sent 4 members towards this bottom lane, so as long as Thien stays out of danger in the mid lane, which you can see backs up straight away, it's now going to be 3 turrets. Big creep waves coming in for the Chiefs as well now. Thien just scoots out. They use Tahm Kenshult to try and catch him. He's gone.
Big question marks now for Direwolves, how they can get themselves back into this one because they're down in levels, down in items.
I don't
Structural
think they can.
impact, it's gone. So
this isn't a game where we're talking about, the ornaments are going to come in. The team fight scaling is there. As we already mentioned, the Chiefs have a good team fight. I think they have winning side lanes. If you put this in a 4-1, I think the Chiefs win. I think in a 1-3-1, the Chiefs win. And we've seen the coordination in team fights. The Chiefs definitely win at this stage, Skimmy. This team has, come online in such an impressive way so far in the OPL. I can't wait till they play Legacy.
oh, absolutely. Next week, the El Clasico, going to be a surefire game to answer any question that everybody has been putting out online. But for me, as you say, not trying to be the doomsday member of this discussion, but you talk about Shock and you talk about Vital, the 2 highest damaging members on this roster for Direwolves. They're both 0 and 3. They are very far behind in the item builds compared to their counterparts who are bounties to their name, flawless in your wills, and will just prevent really any kind of turnaround that Direwolves can have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the reason I'm laughing is Claire goes back, gets himself the Medjai's Soul Stealer as well. Already had 10 stacks on the Sark Seal, says, you know what, why not? Let's get towards 25 one more time. It's funny because it's kind of something that Eminez has made pretty famous at the moment, right? He's finishing most games with 25 stacks on that one. Claire says, anything you can do, I can also do. And you can see on the player cam, very, very focused. Going into a 1-3-1 now. This is where Tahm Kench can look to punish. Like, do they collapse onto one of the side lanes? Can they get any form of 2v1? I think maybe safer to go towards Thien, even though he has stopwatch. I think Claire might kill any 2v1.
I think so too. And definitely going to have a good time against Chippy's here with that Marilla Normicon, as you highlight. So Chippy's going to really be here for lane clearing duties and nothing quite more. And, well, yeah, Croc can just freely rotate around right now. You know, incredibly tanky, Spirit Visage, Ninja Tabbies. Not going to be afraid to face check a brush as the hook goes out. Korea CK going well. I can land them, but I don't need to necessarily commit. They are buying time for objectives.
And all they're doing is they're just getting more farm off Summoner's Rift right now. When you're pushing in, when you're pushing all 3 waves, you know, you're able to continue to just create pressure, take away jungle camp, and the Chiefs are slowly starving Direwolves out. It's already an 8,000 gold lead, 24 minutes into this game. 2 team fights to go, look dead even. Tahm Kench coming in.
It is coming indeed, and who's going to come out of that one? It's just going to be Miru, who starts things off. He just gets destroyed by a bullet time, instantly to devour. The depth charge gets consumed as well. Shock joins the party, unable to find the master, the member, the one there afterwards, where Claire comes around the corner and says, here's Johnny, here's what I can do. Tien joins it too. He wants to join amongst that party. A lot of hype for very little action, but it just showcases, once again, Chiefs' relentlessness in their ability to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the end, it's just 2 flashes traded for 2 flashes. It's going to be Katsuri and Claire flashing on the side of Direwolves. It's going to be Shock and Vital. That was a nice Tahm Kench ult, creative. However, now Vital's dead.
Vital caught out again, now 0 and 4. The major member of the squad who puts out the damage, who destroys what Chippies can do as well. He flash and lives on a sliver of health. I'm talking sub 50 HP. The guy's living on borrowed time. Can they find Croc? He flashes out to his team, gets devoured, doesn't survive. Shock finds that kill, gets himself on the board. Tien responds.
That is just unrelenting.
There is no smite, no chance, and potentially no inhibitor as Chiefs are knocking on the door.
Really nice wave clear coming out from Shock there. However, now he's They do have to back away. That's going to be Dragon Soul most likely picked up. However, you can see that the pings for TP are coming out. Who has it? Vital. Surely they're not teleporting Vital again.
I hope not. We saw it once, and I don't want to see it again.
You know what, Skippy? I think you might be right. Vital safely walks through.
Aphelios is busted, but he's not that busted where he can 1v4 on his own.
And I feel like this is the first Aphelios loss I've seen in a really long time.
Every single game I've watched of him, it's just, what did I watch? What have I seen?
He needs one of those ultimates where you think it's going to do no damage and then it one hits everyone. I don't know if it's Flamethrower. I don't know whether it's Chakram. I can't keep up with which ultimate does what. But one of them does tons of damage.
I think it is this one here, Flamethrower, where you had it with Runins. I can't even remember the exact bug, but I saw it on Reddit, and it just like one-shot everybody. And
oh, interesting play here. You can see that right now Olaf is sitting on the Dragon, and they've started up Baron. They're at least going to be running into Fog of War, so they're probably looking to bait a fight as opposed to, you know, necessarily completing the objective. They do pull them away from Soul, which is a good first step, Skimmy, but they've lost control over mid lane wave, which means that now they have no way of getting on either objective.
And they've established some pressure there with the wards, and Claire does have that TP available, still banging on bottom lane. Can quite comfortably take on Chippies as we saw in that previous skirmish, so definitely trying to say, if you don't start that Baron, we will take an inhibitor, and we'll take Baron afterwards, and then what? You're just slowly bleeding, you're playing Turtle, but you're not getting stronger as a result.
And you can see right now that they're just holding Thien on the Dragon, and they're defending 3v1 whilst also taking the base.
Yeah.
And Thien has teleport, so he can just join Claire right now, and they can look to end.
Ocean Soul in their hands. First inhibitor falls on down. It's really up to Direwolves now to be forced into a situation where they have to take Baron, or they just lose this game flat out. Not the fight they want, and maybe not the fight they'll get. It's Cupcake gets out Shock. He takes him in to take out the bullet time. That was actually cancelled mid-animation. Now, is this a sign of life? I don't think it will be, because Chiefs will just destroy. Triple kill for the young superstar in the top lane. Buying time to take out Cupcake. The third ace, as they can now storm down bottom lane.
And that's just GG. 28 minutes in, the Chiefs do it again. Just really nice collapse coming through from Thien. Picks himself up the triple kill. 9-1 and 3. And the Chiefs just look unstoppable.
I talked about it before at the start of the game. You know, you got Legacy and Chiefs at the top. Superstars in their midst, and another superstar performance as they convincingly take down Direwolves. 28 minutes, 19 kills to 4. Chiefs will go 5-0.
And I mean, it's how they went 5-0, right? They withstood all the early game pressure that comes out of Syndra Lee Sin. Claire just played to neutralize the lane. They seeded objectives when they had to, they traded when they had to, but when they saw the one team fight in the mid lane, they just absolutely dominated the Direwolves.
Very happy with the strategy that they deployed. Weren't phased whatsoever by the fact that Direwolves are taking down structures. Stick to the plan, take the souls, claim the CS, get the farm, get these items online. Now we fight. And fight they did. 3 aces in one game. Not a single time would you think that wasn't convincing. It was a whitewash.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that when you have a look at how they won those back-to-back fights, the first one is like a flanking turret dive, playing on the cusp of it. The second fight is setting up a baited top lane fight where they had numbers first. And they're two very different kind of fights, right? One of them is an absolutely, raw aggression. We are a better team, so we're just going to pull the trigger on this turret dive. And I think the second one is like, okay, we also are a smart team now, and we're going to be able to pull numbers up there first. And I think that they're equally impressive in their own way, because I was really happy with how Divals were playing out the early game macro-wise. But for the Chiefs to match that in the latter stage of the game just shows there are so many strings to this team's bow.
Well, the Chiefs very happy with how things have played out today on a Friday in week number 3 as we jump back for the final time tonight, back to the couch.
Thank you very much, Skimmy. I'm here with the Armored
yes.
Sloth.
How could we forget
Well,
our
hello.
wine?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Cranberry juice.
Thank you. How are you? Disgusting. But good for the cramps, Rusty.
Is it?
Well, after that, I'm not too good. That was not
It's-
good.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible. How are you feeling after the game, though?
I'm feeling good, but I'm kind of disappointed in myself in my early laning phase. If you guys saw my first hook shot, I actually E'd to Narnia, so that was not good. But
Yeah,
apart
Bryce
from that, I'm
coaching you,
happy.
Tim?
Yeah, totally.
Narnia coming out?
He lives in all of us.
Narnia and everyone.
But Chiefs, I mean, you guys are continuing the trend. You've got a big game coming up next week, obviously, against Legacy.
I'm super excited for that one.
Are you guys playing tomorrow?
Yes, we are. We're playing against Gravitas tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, great. So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. I'm happy with how my teammates played, especially without 5v5. I think we played really well around that. And I'm just happy with the trajectory of our team.
I want to bring it back a week as well for you, because we heard before you got to play against DOS, and then we had the Sloth versus the Titan matchup, and you got to put on a clinic. How was it for you being able to take down Order?
Well, first of all, I'm super surprised I didn't get the interview for that week.
Yeah.
Because I honestly thought it would be like whoever won out of those would be either me or DOS would get the interview. But I was really happy with getting to play against DOS, because then again, I think it's all like mind games, because every time we play scrims against each other, like if there was an emote key, it'd just be like mashed on cooldown.
Yeah.
But it was really fun playing against him, and there's no bad blood, so whoever won, it was just the better top laner, or whoever performed the day would win.
And the reason I bring this up is I saw a tweet earlier from Swipe. You guys have been playing a whole lot of 1v1s against each other?
So basically yesterday, right? So we thought we didn't have any scrims, so that's why you saw Spawn's tweet about is anyone from Chiefs awake? Because we just completely slept through.
Yeah.
And so they basically last minute booked scrims with us.
Yeah.
And so we had a 7-hour scrim block, and that was what he was talking about. So it was just me and DOS just constantly literally just 1v1ing each other. Because both our junglers just didn't gank top.
Sweet.
I love these personal rivalries as well. We were talking about the E-Clasico, the idea of the team rivalries coming up. But I love that you have personal grudges in the OPL. I think it bodes well for the future. Finally, your idea of a perfect Valentine's Day date. Keep it PG.
For me,
For you.
perfect Valentine's Day, probably just really, really basic. So going to the movies and then having dinner,
Yep.
and then just going home and watching Netflix or something.
More movies.
Yeah.
It's basically just movies.
Yeah.
Company optional. All right, well, congratulations on the win today. Stick around while we close out the show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Let's take a look at the results for today. A little skewed, obviously, because we have a couple of double ups playing, but it was a Direwolves win over Avant in game number 1, Legacy take down Gravitas in game number 2, Avant beating Mammoth for game 3, and the Chiefs taking on and taking down the Direwolves in game 4. A look at the games tomorrow, some teams that we won't be seeing again, and some teams that we will be seeing for the first time this weekend. Pentanet.gg take on Order for game number 1. The Chiefs up against Gravitas for game 2. Legacy against Pentanet.gg again for game 3. And then Order are back for Mammoth in game 4. Boys, what are we looking forward to tomorrow the most?
I'm just looking forward to playing against my, again, old teammate on Gravitas. So last year in OCS, he was my mid laner. For some reason, he's playing top now. So like today's game, he kind of had 40 CS against 100.
Yep.
I wonder how he feels about getting Flamed Horizon, but we'll find out tomorrow.
You're one of my favorite people in the OPL. Rusty?
For me, I just want to continue to see Legacy's performances and compare them to the Chiefs. That's basically all we're doing at the moment because they'll be playing against each other in week 4, and it's, I want to say, very different styles every time they continue to play. Legacy start slower and poke their way in. Chiefs just like pick the moment and go 100% in. I like seeing the style differences in how they're growing before they play each other.
All right, we will be seeing all of that tomorrow. Something else we would love to see is the anime artwork that you have created. A reminder that we are running the anime competition. We'll be picking 3 winners tomorrow to be included in our anime closing titles for the OPL. All you need to do is create an original artwork in any anime style and submit it on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag OPL Anime for your chance to win. Enter by midnight tonight. If you're after midnight tonight, then you're into next week's competition. This week, the winners get any skin from the Heartseeker and Sweetheart skin range. And if you don't have the champ, you get the champ too. So it's a pretty sweet deal. A big thank you to our sponsor, McDonald's, for being with us, for being with the OPL, and for helping make it all happen. We are going to take a very small break, and then we'll be back with the highlight of the OPL. It is the bad gameplay of the NPL. We will see you in a moment.
Tien Roxon up to the fight. He says, that's my target, and I'm going to isolate him. They want Vital. They'll get Vital, and Tien will fall for his crimes. He has been punished. The sins, the damage. As Claire comes in and just destroys, getting the resets with the QWE. We're talking about rotations. We're talking about cooldowns. We're talking about Claire and the Chiefs acing. Now they're looking for his second kills. The ultimate, the isolation, the collapse. 2 members gone. We're talking double kills. Are we going to get back-to-back aces right now? As Cupcake is going to be the next one to fall. And it's Vital and a Dream ace. And can they find Crocky? Flashes out to his team, gets devoured, doesn't survive. Shock finds that kill, gets himself on the ball. Tien responds.
That's just unrelenting.
It's Cupcake, gets out Shock. He takes him in to take out the bullet time. That was actually cancelled mid-animation. Now, is this a sign of life? I don't think it will be, because Chiefs will just destroy. Triple kill for the young superstar. Superstars in their midst, and another superstar performance as they convincingly take down Direwolves. 28 minutes, 19 kills to 4. Chiefs will go 5-0.
Introducing Macca's Mini Games. Play today and win on the My Macca's app.
Woo! Winning!
Every play wins one of your Macca's faves.
強く輝いて消えた